Hello, I'm Kelly James Barker, and you're watching Spotlight on the Ozarks. Today's a special edition, and as you can tell, I'm not dressed like I usually dress. So I'm not always dressed that great anyway, but I'm just saying. A friend of mine, Richard Lynch, is coming through town, and so he's going to be on the show today. You don't want to miss it. He's got a great country song called Pray on the Radio. I want you to hear it. He's going to do it on today's show. So Richard and I will be back right after this message.
Hey, I'm Rick Vaughn from Junction Production, and I can help you with all your music and video projects. Whether you're a musician and ready to try a music video, or a songwriter and looking for someone to record your song, I can help. Or if you have a business and would like to promote it on Facebook, or if you're having a special event and would like a keepsake video, give me a call at 417-214-3812 or message me. Please check out Junction Production on Facebook.
Okay, and we're back with Richard Lynch from, where are you from, Richard?
Waynesville, Ohio.
Waynesville, Ohio, and you're a country singer.
Well, I thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Kelly.
You know, I've seen you before. We met, actually, what's it been, 4 or 5 years ago?
3 or 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, and you were coming through, and we actually talked about you being on Kelly's Country Junction. I don't know how we always slip away from that. We never did make that happen. But we should have. I want to also apologize to the people. I'm coming off of a cold and sore throat, and I've had kidney stones, and I finally got rid of those.
No.
Oh, I feel good now. I look rough. But so how long have you been in country music? Okay, 2 questions. How long have you been in country music? And 2, how did you get into country music? From your family, or what was it?
Well, I was born in a country music household, and by that I mean my dad was an incredible country singer. Every morning I get up, I jump out of bed, and Dad'd be sitting there at the kitchen table drinking his coffee, and that old round radio there on the Hoosier cabinet there in the farmhouse, we'd be hearing that great country music from the day. You know, back in them days, it'd be Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson and George Jones and Conway Twitty and all those incredible stars.
Memories, yes.
Yes. So I grew up listening to that traditional music, and my dad always had a guitar. He grew up in eastern Kentucky.
Okay.
And back in the day, they didn't have all the bells and whistles of today, so their entertainment would be a flat-top guitar, a mandolin, a banjo, and a fiddle. And so I was raised in a household that had that amazing appreciation for traditional country music.
Okay. That's kind of where I was. My uncles and my aunts and everybody played on both sides of the family. On my mom's side, they just played everything, pianos and guitars and all that. We were so poor, though, I couldn't have a piano until I was 28. So I finally kind of got fairly good at it about 30 years old, and so that's 30 years ago. Another thing, we don't have our usual chairs, and they squeak. And these squeak, too, so you have to kind of watch it and not squeak too much.
Okay.
Or come over there and people go, they're squeaking. But this is not a top dollar show. We have no budget. Fact is, we don't even have a director today. We have Richard's wife behind the cameras, and so, but good job she's doing. You have a show yourself now on ROKU Television.
We do, called Traditionally Lynch, and we showcase artists that's been legendary, and we also showcase artists that are new and up and coming, but they have to have one requirement. They have to play and sing traditional country music. They can get the other stuff anywhere.
Yeah.
So we want to showcase and let the people know that there is such a need in today's world for traditional music, and we love all music. We really do, but we just need to let people know that there is a traditional and such a need in the world for traditional country music.
A lot of kids coming back to country, real what I call country music, like what you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
I try to appreciate all music, but just a guitar, just a thump, 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 no steel, no fiddle, I'm like, that's really not quite country. That's folk music.
I get that. I get that. And I'm seeing younger folks come to our shows, and young lady back in our area just turned 17 years old, sounds like Connie Smith. I tell her, I said, honey, you must be raised right. And Caitlin Adams is the young lady's name. We're excited to, to get her name out there a little bit at a time. And she's been opening some shows with us. And, I just love the fact that there's our responsibility to hand off that traditional music to our younger folks. And I do believe we're going to leave it in good hands with her.
Yeah.
And I think the whole music industry is special. But, time will bring things back around, or it always has seemed to bring things back around.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that this pop phase fades out, and the more traditional sound, because there's always going to be those traditional people that love that sound.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that I can aim toward those folks and let them know, give them some hope that maybe traditional country sound will be back in their direction.
Well, at first, back in the late 80s, or whenever this really started coming out, in the early 90s, I still like the music in the early 90s. It seemed like the mid to 90s on, it started getting to where I didn't much care for it. It was like professional wrestling. I lost all my good wrestling stars, and all these other people are coming up, and I'm like, I don't even like this, So, but you also are not only on your show, you don't only play music with your band, of course, and like I say, some of the kids that are young folks or other folks coming up and doing traditional music. But I seen you with T. Graham Brown.
T. Graham has been a long-time hero of mine. We've had T. Graham. We've had several shows with T. Graham. We've been doing some shows with a lot of the Grand Ole Opry stars that I call my heroes. Yeah. People like Jimmy Fortune from the Statler Brothers.
Yeah.
Not to mention, we've had Jeannie Seeley on our show, and maybe I'm a little premature in saying this, but we're right in the early stages of getting in the studio and going to do a duet with Jeannie Seeley. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, that'd be sweet, man.
A lot of fun. A lot of things have happened in the last several years in our career. It just goes to show you that if you love what you do and you stick with what you do and you're faithful to what you do, it's amazing how things can somehow go your way. And I'm pretty lucky in the fact that I got a beautiful wife that believes in me.
Yeah.
And I
got to get one of those.
But she's made so many things happen for me just for the fact that she loves what we do. We get to travel all over the country. Yeah. Our music's being played in 34 countries around the world right now. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
An old farm boy from Waynesville, Ohio. Who'd have thought?
I know. That's what we always said about, me. I'm just a kid from Kansas. Now I live in the Ozarks, and we made Kelly's Country Junction. Went nationwide. We did it in this little studio. Just wow, you can do anything. But when I used to play the honky tonks in the bars, I did it as a businessman. So I never got drunk. I didn't. I stayed sober, and I treated it as a business. And because if you don't do that, like you said. The only way you make it is to be sober-headed, and level-headed, or elsewise you're probably not going to get any place. And I hope that works out for you to go in the studio and play a song. I got to do some stuff on the show, not professional cuts, but with Leona Williams.
Nice.
We did some stuff, and then Pretty Miss Norma Jean.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then we did a show. One night with we had both of them, Pretty Miss Norma Jean and Leona Williams, and me. And I said, well, let's do these songs together. And we did 4 or 5 songs, me with these 2 ladies. I'm like, this is just this. Oh, I love it. The sound man was erasing stuff as he was going, and I'm not going to give his name. He said, we lost all that. I said, oh man, you got to be kidding me. So. But anyway, you also then built your own, I'll call it a theater, but you built your own place to play.
Well, we have a farm there in Waynesville, Ohio, and we have this beautiful barn that we built. It seats about 375 to 400 people. We mentioned the artists that we brought to the barn. We do 4, maybe 5 events a year, yeah. And we take them right there at the farm. And what more authentic way to showcase traditional country music than on a farm, in a barn, in a comfortable, warm setting, to where a lot of folks come from the agricultural way of life.
Yeah.
And when they walk into this old barn, they're reminiscent to either grandma or the way they were raised, or they see something that they, if they're not familiar with it, that they can appreciate. Right. Because country music to me is a reference to a way of life. Yeah. Not just the music, but the music represents something that's really sincere, but it also reminiscent of something that's from the heart. Yeah. So if you love country music and you love the country way of life, what better place than to bring them to our barn at the Keeping It Country Farm in Waynesville, Ohio.
Yeah, and that's where you need to be, too. So if you're up that way, you need to stop by. On Kelly's Country Junction, we always showed the first of the show was the barn, you know. Yeah. So then we always tried to make it look like we were in the barn. Of course, we were in here in the studio. But, there's something about a barn and country folks that it goes together. We're talking with Richard Lynch. I can't talk, but Richard can. This is good. And we'll be back to speak with him a little bit more and maybe hear if we can get him to do his new song called Pray on the Radio. We'll be back right after this.
Here we are at JR's and we've got lots of boots. You want wild and crazy? Or we've got nice brown traditional boots for that good old cowboy. Come on in. You can not only find great Western wear at JR's, but you can find great CDs by Kelly Lee James. My best bet.
He's an old bronc rider, just an old bullfighter. Lord, I watched him.
I'm Tom Carter with Ozarks Public Television, inviting you to watch Ozarks Watch Video Magazine. Now, don't confuse me with Kelly James and his program, Spotlight on the Ozarks. We look nothing alike. We are no way alike. But let me invite you to watch Ozarks Watch Video Magazine now in our 20th season. You can watch it on Ozarks Public Television Sundays at 1:30 and 2, and Thursdays at 9 and 9:30. That's on Ozarks Public Television. Or visit our website. You can see any of the episodes anytime at www.optv.org.
And we're back on Spotlight of the Ozarks with Richard Lynch. He's a country singer. He has a brand new song out called Pray on the Radio. Richard, you wrote that song. How about telling us a little bit about how you wrote that song, when you wrote that song, and why you wrote that song?
Well, we were talking off air a little while ago how, I had done several hundred radio stations interviews. And this particular interview this morning, we were doing that morning, I should say, I didn't have any reason to think it would be any different than the last several hundred. Yeah. And we were driving down the interstate, and at the time I had a song called We're American Proud, and it had done an immense amount of interest around the area. It was after the election, and and it was just a lot of good catchy tune. It was doing a lot of interest. And the disc jockey, and me and my wife has tried to figure out who the disc jockey is. We cannot remember it for the life of us, but the disc jockey had made the mention to us that that he really loved our music, and he said, man, as much as you're traveling and as busy as you are, somebody must be traveling with you. He said, the Lord must be traveling with you. Yeah. I thought, well, that's really cool. I think maybe he is. And then we were talking a little bit further. He said, Richard, he said, do you mind if we pray on the radio? And I had never been asked that before or since, and may never again. Yeah. And that statement was so profound, it touched me automatically. And earlier, I mentioned that that we were in the truck. Well, never is there a pad of paper between me and my wife when we're driving down the road. But there happened to be a pad of paper that day sitting between us.
Just happened to, huh?
Just happened to be a pad of paper there.
One of them God intervention things, or whatever you call it, divine intervention.
Divine intervention. Well, normally if I'm looking for a pen, I'd have to have a search warrant. But there happened to be a pen right there in front of me on the dash. So I got my left hand on the phone, driving down the interstate. I'm finding a pen. I'm looking at the pad of paper, and I'm writing and driving.
And doing an interview.
All at the same time. And my wife seen that I was struggling a little bit, and I think she was concerned that we might kill her. Yeah. So she grabbed the pad of paper and the pen, and she started writing down the words that I was saying during the interview. And the song was just like, I'll just say it this way. All I did was hold the pen when the song was written, because I don't know how it came, but the actual conversation in the song was the actual conversation on the radio with the disc jockey.
Wow.
Pretty amazing.
It is. You know, I mean, if it would have been a religious radio show, you could understand that.
Yeah.
But coming out from a secular country music, which I don't mean that's bad, but it usually just don't happen.
You know,
that's
it's
right.
exactly right. That's exactly right. And that made it so much more special. And me and my wife Donna have we've talked about this. You know, it's almost like the man upstairs had a plan for that particular moment to make this song happen.
Yeah.
It's getting a lot of interest right now around the country and around the world.
I'm going to play it on my show.
All right.
On Kelly, I'm going to do a plug. That would be Kelly's Country Ranch Show on Irish Country Radio. Yeah, it's internet radio, so you got to watch us on the internet. But yeah, it's got a message to it.
It does.
So, how about you maybe just play a little bit of it, or play all of it?
Let's
for
do
us?
it.
Okay, folks. This is Richard Lynch, and he's right here in the studio, and he's going to do his song "Pray on the Radio." If you want to set it up a little bit, if not, then just play it for us.
I've been writing my songs and telling my stories. I finally got my songs played on the radio. I've been doing interviews around the country, and then one day a DJ asked me, "Can I pray with you?" He said, "Do you mind if we pray on the radio? Do you mind we talk about the Lord?" I truly believe that God's watching over you. You know there's no better company than Jesus while you're out on the road. Well, I told the DJ right then I'd be more than happy to share my thoughts and inspirations about my song. I'm thankful God likes my music enough to ride with me. So if you're hearing my country music, know that Jesus tags along. Do you mind if we pray on the radio? Do you mind we talk about the Lord? I truly believe that God's watching over you. There's no better company than Jesus while you're out on the road. I know there's no better company than Jesus while we're out on the road.
Wow.
Thank you, Kelly.
You bet. That's such a great song. When I heard that, I heard it, of course, on your page there on your Facebook, and I hit love on it. You know, I hit that love button. And I said, hit love on it. I said, man, that's good. And I was sharing it on my page and another page, and then I got a hold of your fella Randy, I think it was. And I said, can I? Actually, he may have got a hold of me, and I think I got a hold of him. I said, can I play that on my show? You know, so, and then finally I got a copy of it. So I haven't got to yet, but. In 2 weeks we get back on when we play it. So Such a great song. I heard it and I thought, wow, that is just an awesome song.
Well, thank you, Kelly. You know, that song has created a whole bunch of opportunities maybe that I would not have ever had before.
Yeah.
And maybe there was a little divine intervention there.
I wasn't maybe. I believe it. There was, yeah, most definitely, because that kind of song can open up the door into the churches.
Yeah.
And testimony time and stuff like that. I go way beyond country music. I mean, I love country music, but I believe that through my music, I probably have touched people. I know I have touched people in places where the preachers won't go.
Yeah.
You know? So, and I think that's that kind of song. Somebody hear that on and go, I need to go to church Sunday. That's a good song. The Lord just starts speaking to the heart, you see.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that kind of song. That is definitely that's a God song.
Oh, thank you. You know, I've always loved my traditional country. I love the fact that I can do what I want as far as the music goes. But that particular song, "Pray on the Radio," I hope it helps people just listen to the fact that there is a God above.
Yeah.
And make them aware. You know, I've never been really what you call super religious. I've always known the man exists, and I have a deep faith. Yeah. But to call myself, over religious, I never have been.
The Lord picked up, keep your thought, man. He didn't get the overly religious people as his disciples.
No.
He got all the guys that were roughshod. Peter was one of the roughest, but you love the Lord as long as your heart's there, I think that's what counts, and that's why God's like, I can give Richard this song.
Well, I thank him, and I thank you for letting me do that, sir.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, one thing you got to do for me, though, if old T. Graham Brown happens to come around Branson or something, tell him about the show. It's just a short drive from Branson. You got to come, darling. Oh, that brings back memories, boys. I played the jukebox. I didn't drink much, but I chased a lot of women.
Yeah. Good old memories.
Oh, yeah. T. Graham Brown gave me some good ones. Darling. I'd hear that outside the honky-tonk. I go, I got to get in there. I'm missing something.
He had a song that was really inspirational when he turned the water into wine.
Yeah.
Or wine into water. Yeah.
Well, anyway, I know the song.
Wow. And, he had a similar experience with his writing with that song as it is that I had.
Okay.
And, he'll tell you, he being T. Graham, he struggled with alcohol.
Yeah.
But, he realized that he had to make a decision, and that song was written, and the next thing you know, he's on the track to where he still does his music, he still travels, but he realized that this music makes me think, hey, I got to do something for a higher power, and he'll tell you how appreciative of it that he got that song, because it gave him a different mindset.
Yeah. Older you get, it's amazing. Like, the older you get, the more you start understanding things more clearly about your eternity and God.
Mm-hmm.
You just do.
Absolutely.
So when you're young, you're just kind of goofy. You just think you're going to live forever. So
yeah. Well, we all know better than that. We're all going to see the man someday, and I just want to be able to say, Lord, thank you for forgive me for all my mistakes in life, and thank you for giving me that song.
Yeah, that's a great song. Now, you've got other songs, CDs. Where can people get your CDs, or can they buy on iTunes, or how can they get your music?
Well, just go to richardlynchband.com. That's RICHARDLYNCH, richardlynchband.com, and you'll see us on Spotify.
Okay.
You'll see us on all the different social media networks that have all the music that's being sold. You'll be able to find us on our where we're playing our concerts around the area.
Yeah.
We're playing an awful lot of shows these days. And the most important thing for me is to someone walk up to me and the fact that they'll spend their money and they'll buy a ticket or they'll come see us play. We've had people even say, we took a vacation so we can come see you. We knew you were going to be here at a certain time.
Right.
And you want to talk about humbling.
Yeah.
This old farm boy from Waynesville, Ohio is certainly humbled because I love to hear those stories. And we have another organization that we're proud of. It's called the Love Tattoo Foundation.
Okay.
And that helps our men and women in the military.
Okay.
We have a song that me and Ronnie McDowell called Love Tattoo. Cool. And all the proceeds go to help our men and women of the military.
So how can people get a hold of that?
Once again, just go to richardlynchband.com and you'll see the segment that says the Love Tattoo Foundation. Okay. Click onto there and you're on your way about being educated about our men and women that serve our country.
Wow. Okay, now, is that a site away from Facebook, or is that a Facebook site?
It's a Facebook site.
Okay.
And it's the, you have to forgive me, I'm not a super educated guy on the network as far as social media, but thank goodness for my wife and Randy, our managers. They take care of a lot of those things for me.
Right. Well, I just want to make sure that people know how to get you to the stuff. I know Randy puts a lot of updates up there on that
He
page,
does.
so.
Randy Hayford, Twang Thang Music, what an incredible gift he's been to us.
Yeah. As like I said, I got to get a wife. I need somebody to take care of me and, fix coffee, breakfast.
Yeah.
I think we need to go to a commercial break. But we'll be back right after this, and we'll wind down with Mr. Richard Lynch from Waynesville, Ohio, with his new song, Pray on the Radio. Okay, we're back on Spotlight on the Ozarks. My guest today has been Richard Lynch from Waynesville, Ohio. Richard's a country singer, and he's got a song out right now. It's a great song called Pray on the Radio. And he just done it, so you missed it. But the good news is you can always rewind this and watch it. So if you're just watching this part of it. Richard's been good to have you on, sir.
Thank you, Kelly.
I want you to tell the folks one more time anything that needs to be said. I heard something about a cruise and some of your music and something with Rhonda Vincent. And so there's all kinds of stuff you haven't told us yet.
You know, we play all over the country, and this is 2018 that's being filmed, but in January or February of 2019, we're doing a cruise out of New Orleans.
Ooh.
And we get to travel all down through the Caribbean there on a country music cruise with a guy named Doug Supernall.
Yeah.
And a few other artists that's been friends of ours, so we're excited about that. You know, our brand new album that's been about a year and a half, the album is called Mending Fences. And how appropriate. I'm an old farm boy, and Mending Fences kind of set really good with me.
Yeah.
But there's a song on there called Mending Fences, and we're really excited about this album. But we're really proud of the fact that one of my heroes, Miss Rhonda Vincent, did a duet with me on this particular album called Back in Love Again.
Cool.
And the song has met rave reviews, and it's created a bunch of opportunities for myself and for Rhonda. But I'm excited that we can play traditional country music and just have the effect that we can go out and meet people who love that traditional sound.
Yeah. You're keeping traditional music alive.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that immensely. There's a couple of us that writing new traditional country sound, and that's so important. You know, it's one thing to go out here and play Merle Haggard and all George Jones. That's great. But, you know, if you can write new country songs and keep that traditional sound alive with your new music, you're creating another era of interest in that music. So that's what I want to focus on. That's what I can't be anything else but just an old country boy. So that's what I am.
And I think that's what people like it and like you, because that's your real, see. And name of your show again on ROKU TV. It's on the Farm and Ranch channel, right along with Kelly's Country Junk Show.
It's called Traditionally Lynch, and we're excited to be there with my buddy.
Give a number if folks want to call and come be part of the show, and tell them where it's at again and how to get there.
Well, if you want to be at our farm, it's in Waynesville, Ohio. Just call and leave a message on our cell phone, 513-934-2001. It's the Keeping It Country Farm in Waynesville, Ohio.
All right, that's for Richard Lynch and great country music. That's what we're going to do. Richard, again, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Kelly,
for coming through and being part of the show. You got me. I have a cold, just getting over kidney stones. I look awful, but hey, who cares, right? This has been Spotlight on the Ozarks. I'm Kelly James Barker. My guest today has been Richard Lynch and his new song, Pray on the Radio. You need to be looking for it. We'll be back next time with more of our good guest here from the Ozarks. Richard's not from the Ozarks, but he's still a good guest.